I don't know what to say. I can't tell if I love this game or I hate this game. Either way, I'm playing it for now. I'm enjoying myself somewhat, but every boss fight seems like it's impossible until I realize that I can always summon someone if I need help, or just wait, come back maybe an hour, 2 hours with better gear, two-shot them, right? So it's an interesting game in the way that it's laid out. You can either do stuff all in one go and finish the game in, like, I think the speedrun record right now is 20 minutes, or you can take your time, explore every single inch of it, find every single piece of armor, every single sword, and kind of get like a platinum. Personally, I'm kind of in the middle. I've been exploring, I've been enjoying myself. I'm not trying to finish the game, I'm just floating on through. I am using a lot of summons, both players and AI. I noticed that it really makes a difference. It really helps me enjoy the game more because I feel like some of the challenge is gone and the rest of it is just relying on my skill and what power I am. Although, the thing that's keeping me in the game is the world. I didn't really believe anyone until I hopped in, and the starting area really isn't anything to write home about. Pretty basic, kind of looks like PS3 graphics, not that great. Kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, damn, this is a PS5 game? But once you get to Caelid and Raya Lucaria or whatever it's called, then you realize how beautiful it is, how much detail and little Easter eggs and secrets are put into the game. Pretty much everything you kill has the potential to drop something, so they kind of make it so you just want to kill everything. And of course that can go both ways, because sometimes you can't kill them. Like, there's a lot of giants and stuff that are just bullet sponges to your sword. They can drop some really good things, but maybe your first playthrough of that area, you might not be able to do it. So my trick right now is to go in, finish an area by sneaking around, hopping on roofs, then come back maybe 2 or 3 hours later with better gear and wipe out all the remaining enemies I didn't do all the dungeons that I didn't do, and kind of go from there. I have a lot of friends who are hardcore Souls fans, and they preach to me about how the graphics are it's an art style, and I understand that to some degree, but it's 2022. It does not need to be on the level of, Miles Morales or Forbidden West, but I was hoping for something better than Bloodborne and maybe Sekiro, and I guess we got that. It's under the Demon Souls remake. That definitely was absolutely mind-blowingly gorgeous. I didn't purchase the game for myself, but I remember all the tech demos. That was like the PS5 showcase. That game looked amazing, and I always wondered why the other Souls games didn't look like that. Then I realized that game was remastered by Bluepoint, and they do amazing remasters, and they just became a PlayStation exclusive studio, so that's cool. But I realized that the actual developers of Demon Soul and Dark Souls and stuff, they do have their own art style and way of making the game that just doesn't make it too appealing to everyone, and I'm one of those people. However, I do admit the scenery and stuff is gorgeous, even if the colors aren't always amazing and the textures are kind of blurry and meld together, but it has its ups, it has its downs. It really depends on where you go. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I'm not really doing like a should you buy this game kind of thing. I'm not even really doing a review. I'm just gonna talk about my experience, and it's mixed. I've had ups and downs. I did not buy the game. A friend of mine bought it, and they got it for me. So I didn't have to worry about if I didn't like it or not, because I wasn't losing anything by not liking it and not playing it. But I decided after, like I said, I just finished everything in Forbidden West. Amazing game, by the way, 10 out of 10. But I was kind of craving another melee-focused game, and this game definitely scratched that itch, so that was pretty cool. Battlefield 2042 was an incredible disappointment, so I just want to recap from my last video. I did fortunately get a refund for the game. Unfortunately, the playtime and the trophies are still on my account, which is a disturbing reminder of my my irresponsibility buying a game after seeing horrible reviews for it. Granted, Elden Ring had amazing reviews, and I still wasn't sure I would enjoy it. I know the gameplay formula for Souls games, and I know how they run, and it's just not my thing. Taking on bosses and stuff can be fun, but like I said, I have played Bloodborne, and it was miserable. Trying to play with your friend is close to impossible. So there's one key feature in Elden Ring that saves it and makes it enjoyable for me, and that is the online features, also known as summoning. There's a ridiculous amount of summoning like kind of sub-genres. You can invade players, you can have people protect you while you're getting invaded, you can help people, you can ask people to help you, you can set up servers where only your friends join. So as you can kind of guess, it goes on from there. There's even more intricate things. You have to craft the material to summon people to your world, but it's super easy. So at first it's a little overwhelming, but once you get into the game a little more, you realize how easy it is and you start to utilize it. And for me, that's how I got past some of the more difficult bosses. The ones that I took, like streamers, they would talk about like 40 attempts, 50 attempts. That's not my kind of my jam. I'm not going to play a game 40 times on one boss fight. I just turn down the difficulty. It's not that I'm bad at the game or that I don't like a good challenge. It's just not fun, you know. And games are supposed to be, originally games were supposed to be fun. Think back to the days of like Pac-Man and stuff, you know. A little bit of challenge, that's fine, you know. Most of Elden Ring is a challenge, you know. Dodging, managing health, managing how many vials do I have, can I make it past this battle, you know, with those 2 vials left, or am I gonna get one shot? So but honestly, the online kind of saved the game for me. It made it possible to do all these things. That's how I made it to, you know, the second part of the map, which normally takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, so fun stuff. And actually, to add on to the point about online, you can also go back to earlier bosses that you've finished, put down a sign, and people can summon you for that boss battle. So you can help people on the boss that you originally struggled with once you're a high enough level, so they can get past and, you know, enjoy the rest of the game. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. So supposedly there is a story to this game. From what I can tell right now, it's kind of like most Souls games where you just gotta really pay attention, not skip any dialogue, or uncover every little inch of the map. Like I said, that's not really my thing, although I have done a decent amount of exploring, so I have learned a little bit about the game. My main source for lore is YouTube videos and my good friend who's a hardcore Souls fan and beat the game twice, which, if you're watching this, holy cow, man. A little over the top, but he's been filling me in on the lore, and other than that, IGN has some really good videos on it, and I'm sure Iron Pineapple and other YouTubers will cover that in the future. So if that interests you, there are resources, but the game doesn't always provide it, so keep that in mind. So about customization, there's a healthy amount of it. You get to customize your stats. So are you going to be a strength build? Do you want to roll around a bunch? Do you want a health bar that takes up the entire screen? Do you want to do magic? So I personally consider that customization. But other than that, your options are on gear and weapons. Gear, like armor and stuff, is extremely rare if it's actually useful. Otherwise, you just kill enough enemies, you get enough armor. You can look like a kind of like a peasant, but your starting class of the game, that starting armor, I chose the Vagabond, I think that's called. that armor kept me kind of to where I am right now. I just changed it out when I got D's armor, which you get kind of later in the beginning of the game. I don't know how big. Supposedly, I barely even touched it, but once you get some better armor, everything's kind of starts to get easier. You can get hit more, especially like by magic and stuff, which is super annoying when you're going to parts of Caelid and Caelid. So keep in mind, armor is scarce. However, weapons, I feel like you get a bunch, and a lot of them are actually really good, so you gotta kind of choose, do you want something more fast-paced, ranged, or heavy? So yeah. In my 20 hours I have right now, my favorite area of the game is Caelid, and the coolest looking boss I've fought. However, I haven't beat him yet, but the gameplay in the background should be my fight with Radon. I think his design was spotless. It was amazing. He looks cool. The build up to his battle is really interesting. Although the weird like little horse that he's riding around on when he's this giant monster is pretty goofy, but the battle is extremely difficult. It relies on you dodging at certain times when he's shooting his weird auto-aim missile arrow at you and stuff like that, so it's pretty annoying, but it's just so beautiful. It's a lush desert filled with, I think right bordering the desert is an ocean. It's just something I haven't seen in a video game. It kind of reminds me of like Never-Ending Story or some like dark fantasy 80s movie. It's just so perfect. And not the entire world doesn't do that for me. It's only Caelid. That area specifically I keep coming back to, even if there's nothing I need to do there. It's kind of just fun to explore, and there are a lot of secrets, but aside from that, it's just pretty to look at. To summarize, Elden Ring is a game that's not for everyone. I find it fun, even though I didn't think I was going to. I ended up enjoying it more than I ever anticipated I was going to, and in that sense, I kind of applaud it. It got me, someone who actually hated the Souls series and kind of looked down on the games, to actually want to try more of them. Like, I might try picking up Demon Souls or maybe Dark Souls 3. I heard that was a really good one. So, thank you, Elden Ring. Thank you for kind of showing me the light to these games and showing me why people are such a diehard fans. I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys kind of exploration, looting games, because you don't have to do the boss fights. You can just enjoy the open world, and that's the beauty of it. So, yeah, really good game. And that's about it.